So I want to start by bringing in members of the audience. Anyone who wants to contribute? Okay, so the whole of the front row, and therefore we'll just start and go from one person to the other. Could you please project when you talk so we can hear you? And if you could tell us your name and the organization you represent. Thank you
very much. I'm Lamo Audu, the Managing Director, CEO of Mainstream Energy Solutions, the concessionaires of Kainji and Jeba hydropower plants. First of all, before I go to the challenges we are facing at the generation end of the value chain, I'd like to make comments on whether to sustain the grid and the off-grid issue being discussed. I think viewers need to understand why we run the grid system in the first place, because normally we have sources of energy, where you build power plants at huge capacity, and the need for that energy is not located around that power plant. So you now take the plant to the source of energy and generate energy at quantum.
So, for example, the people local to Kainji will not be able to consume all the power that the dam generates. Right?
So the idea is to take the source of power generation to where the source of energy is and generate it to high capacity and then transmit over a long distance. And that's why we have high voltage for transmission, so that you take care of the voltage drops and things like that. So I think we need to go with the two. Where you have small capacity power plants, you can go with the off-grid system and then see how you can distribute it around the locality and then generate quantum of energy at the source and transmit through the transmission. So we need to sustain the two. I think that is what is needed. Now,
let me just, if we have more time, I'll come back to you, but I want to get as many comments in as possible, so I apologize.
I just want to talk about some of the challenges we're having.
Okay, but maybe we can come now, because there's a lot of people that want to contribute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel Norom. I'm the Director of Transcorp Power Limited. We have a gas plant sited at Ugedi, and it's a capacity of 1,000 megawatts. I want to say that generally for the transmission company, we know the announcement recently about the increase in the wheeling capacity, so congratulations. But I think the issue is what the people are receiving. People are still not receiving enough. I think what we need to do is that the government cannot fund the transmission company alone. You've mentioned, Dr. Tiku, that there are 22 projects. Now, which are these 22 projects? If, for example, you have Project A that is going to be completed in May 2017, Project B, October 2017, maybe Project C, 2018, people need to see these projects. Possibly look at the cost. Look at what the government is doing, 70% done, as you said, or paid, or whatever. Then we'll be able to see where can the private sector come in. If the government cannot do this alone, then some people should come in. So, and there's been a lot of advocacy that the private sector should be involved. What the role we can look at and how, to what extent. It doesn't mean the government should stop what they're doing. They will continue what they're doing. If at the point a private sector person had to come in on Project A that has been completed, it's a question of refinancing.
Okay.
And then
I think at some...
so that we can have more investment and actually get these things finished at the time we expect. Otherwise, it's going to be another 2022. We're here with only 10,000 megawatts. Meanwhile, the population would have gone to 200 million.
Okay, and I think at some point maybe we need to try and answer the question why it is that Nigeria decided the transmission network is the one place where they don't want privatization. Maybe that is something we can discuss with the panel. But I want to get through as many people as possible.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Anthony Aka, the Acting Chairman CEO of Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. I want to say clearly that the government focus is to use all available technology that is produced in the most efficient manner to get power to Nigerians. And in line with that policy thrust, the regulator has come up with various regulations. We have regulations that border on independent electricity distribution network, and that refers to those estates that you see now that have their own power supply. They are relying on that regulation. We have the embedded generation regulation that allows you to come in with your own power in such a way that it's a willing buyer, willing seller approach. So regardless of how much it is, for as long as you accept to buy that power. So this power does not go through the grid. And recently we've almost concluded a regulation that has to do with mini grid regulation. So this will take care of our rural areas where the grid has not gotten up to. I want to emphasize that we are mindful of the impact of tariff on Nigerian consumers. And grid power generally is a lot cheaper because you have massive power production that now goes down to the Nigerians from different classes. In terms of off-grid, you talk about the solar panels and the rest of them. If they're off-grid, most times they're expensive. However, in the medium term, we are looking at coming up with a regulatory framework that will allow and encourage Nigerians that have the capacity to bring in off-grid solar solutions to their own residents, and then excess energy that they did not use will be wheeled back through what is called a net metering, so that the distribution company can sell that excess power, and that will be able to help to improve power generation.
And the final comment before we go for a break, Mr. Uwa, you wanted to talk as well.
Yeah,
and while you are at it, maybe because you're with the transmission company as well, maybe you could help us also understand why it is the part of the network of the value chain in the power sector that the government decided to not privatize.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Engineer Owa, and I am the MD TSP under TCM. First of all, I'd like to say that for the amount of power we need for Nigeria, by rule of thumb, we should be talking about more than 150,000 megawatts. We cannot do it without the grid. Our world's best practice is the grid. You have regional grid, you have national grid, you have regional grid, you have continental grid. Indeed, in the West African sub-region, we are doing a pool. The essence of the grid is that you get power from everywhere, some cheap, some more expensive, so that you pull it together and it becomes cheap and more reliable. So for us to think that we are spending $2 billion per year on the grid, it's not to bring up the dysfunctional grid. It's to build the grid. Part of it will spend in maintenance. Of course, you have to maintain. And the other portion will grid based on projections.
Okay, and finally, this commitment for government to hold on to the grid and not to privatize it. Yes, is it an ideological thing?
In the first place, the building the grid is very expensive. We know the experience we have now with the privatized GenCos. We know the issues. We know the liquidity issues. If we sell it that way, if we give it out that way, the quantum of money required is so huge. So the only way out we're thinking of now is to bring in investors, private investors into
But I have time before the break for two quick comments. Yes, sir?